Hello, and welcome to today's episode. I'm going to be your host, the Irrelevant Nerd. Today, we're going to be ranking the top 10 best MCU villains. This list is composed entirely of villains from the movies. I have not particularly found any of the villains from the shows very compelling, so if you're wondering why none of them are in here, it's because I just don't think any of them are particularly that good and definitely not top 10 worthy, but we're just going to go ahead, get right into it. We're going to start off with number 10, the High Evolutionary from Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is it's such a fun performance to watch. The actor whose name I'm not even going to try to pronounce because I won't even get close, is obviously having so much fun putting everything that he can into this over-the-top performance, and I think it really works for this movie, especially since the Guardians of the Galaxy movies themselves are fairly over the top. But the reason that he is on this list is because of any villain in the MCU. I think this guy is the easiest to hate and want to see be defeated because he's being fucking mean to animals and he's killing them, and he has this connection with Rocket, who he just treats horribly and talks to horribly in the past and in the present. And we care about Rocket quite a bit at this point because we've been with him now for like a decade by the time this movie came out. And so when he is on screen, you want to see this guy defeated so badly. Like maybe easily the most hateable villain in the MCU for me, just because I have such a soft spot for animals. Number 9, we're going to go with Hela from Thor Ragnarok. This is, again, another fun performance. Cate Blanchett is very clearly just enjoying herself on screen, not taking it too seriously, but not just blowing it off. She's finding that right mix. She's an intensely powerful villain, a compelling threat for Thor because he is a god and he is extremely powerful. So you need a villain who is going to challenge him on both a physical aspect as well as the mental aspect. And because of the familial connections and the way that she forces him and Loki out of Asgard and takes over, she's just another one who's easy to hate because she's killing all these characters that we love. You see how sadistic she is to the surviving Asgardians there, and so another one that is very fun, very powerful, but just fits the movie that she's in so well, and it is that familial connection with Thor and Loki that I think bumps her up into this top 10. Number 8, Vulture from Spider-Man Homecoming. This is probably the most relatable villain in the MCU because his motivation of he is a man who wants to provide for his family, who was wronged by the government and in a way he feels by Tony Stark in the Avengers, and so he devises this plan to be able to take care of his family, take care of his employees, but he doesn't have he does not have evil motivations. He is trying to just do right by his family, and obviously he's making these weapons, but he's not trying to go out there to cause destruction. So in that way, I think he is the perfect Spider-Man villain of you understand why he's doing what he's doing. He's not out there killing a bunch of people. He's not trying to snap half the universe out of existence, but he does need to be stopped because he is delving into more dangerous things than even he realizes. And the connection with Peter Parker trying to date his daughter, and that moment when he comes to the door and Michael Keaton answers, and you kind of have like, oh shit moment, and then it all starts to slowly sink in that this is the father of the love interest for Spider-Man, which I think just makes him such, again, a perfect Spider-Man villain. Number 7, we're going to go with, I believe his name is Wenwu, or the Mandarin from Shang-Chi. He is presented as kind of a tragic character. He is initially a villain. meets the love of his life, has a family, seems to calm down quite a bit in terms of the villainous activities and where his life is headed, and then unfortunately loses his wife, becomes this bitter character, and becomes obsessed with power and trying to get his wife back because he hears this voice calling to you. So it's another villain. You understand why he is doing what he's doing. He needs to be stopped, but you do get it. And again, with the familial connections with Shang-Chi and then even his sister later in the movie, I always like when there is that connection to the hero because it just makes you care a little bit more about the conflict. But this guy is powerful and skilled and resourceful, but he is extremely determined. Like, he wants his family back so badly, and you can see that he is willing to do quite literally anything to make that happen because he is being deceived so well by this demon. But I thought he was one of the better parts of the movie for sure, although I don't love the way the movie ends with just kind of the CGI isms that a lot of MCU movies have. But the way that he accepts his defeat, I think, is such a nice moment and why he is compelled into the top 10 of this list. Number 6, we're going to go with Scarlet Witch from, she's the main villain in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, but she is also the villain in WandaVision. She keeps an entire town hostage against their will so she can play make-believe. And again, you understand her justification and you do feel for her, but she is the bad guy in that scenario. And then she gets to the Multiverse of Madness, and it's pretty much the same justification as in WandaVision, but instead of wanting Vision back, she's now trying to get her kids that she can sense through the multiverse back because she is just longing for a family and a sense of connection, which she has been pretty much since she was introduced to the MCU in Age of Ultron. But she's a very familiar character, so we care about her a lot, and we've seen her kind of go from villain to coming to a hero to the fall back to villain after Thanos comes in and fucks up the entire not galaxy, the entire universe. But she's incredibly powerful, and her power set is so unique and so fun and provides so many opportunities for changes in the narrative, whether or not it's her like dreamwalking or whatever into different Wandas in different timelines, or her summoning these evil creatures using mind control. All of these things to her disposal, really, she can affect the people she's facing in so many different ways, so it keeps her fun and unpredictable. And Elizabeth Olsen, really, I feel like she does such a good job in this character, and I know that she supposedly died at the end of Multiverse of Madness, but I don't believe that shit for a second, and I really do hope that we get more of her going forward because she is one of my favorite actors that is still, left for the MCU. Number 5, we're going to go with Killmonger from Black Panther. It's an intensely compelling character from start to finish. You see where he starts as a childhood and why he is justifying his actions and how he wants to change the world, and even the characters that he comes in and kills and fights. You understand his justification. Again, you're not agreeing with it, but you'll see that's kind of a common trend amongst my favorite villains is you understand what they're doing. It makes sense. Like, that doesn't mean you condone it, but you completely understand it. And he does have such a good story of being part of this civilization, but being born outside of it, an outcast of it, and therefore never receiving the benefits and only been harboring this feeling of hate and resentment towards this civilization. So when it comes in, you don't really care what they have to say. You want to do what you want to do. And he's just acted so well by Michael Jordan. And when I was talking to my son about the villains of the MCU, he always says that Killmonger is probably his second favorite. And he said one of the reasons that he likes him the most is that Killmonger of any villain in the MCU seems to have the most aura, which I understand what he's saying. This guy is just cool as hell, and a lot of that is Michael B. Jordan, but it works so wonderfully, and his theme song is done so, or his theme music is done so well, and it's a real shame that he only got to be in the one movie. I understand that he is in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, in the spirit realm, but I really would have liked to have seen more with him, but unfortunately MCU just kills off their villains way, way too quickly. Number 4, we're going to go with Green Goblin from Spider-Man No Way Home. I love Willem Dafoe as this character so much, whether it's the first Spider-Man movie or whether it's this movie. He is the perfect Spider-Man villain in every way, shape, or form. He is him. He pushes Peter physically, psychologically. He is this chaotic evil, but he does have a plan in his mind and ways that he is trying to push characters, but it's unpredictable, and that's why I say the chaos, because his motivations are very clearly inspired by Norman Osborn's personal interest, and then kind of amplified out in this evil way. But what a fun villain, and the fact that they bring him back, and specifically this version back, to really push this Peter, it just shows that this is not the Spider-Man villain you want to show up, because whether or not he's going to hurt you, hurt the people you love, it's going to fuck you up big time. And I sincerely doubt we will ever see Willem Dafoe play this character again, but I would 100% be here for it if they ever wanted to try to figure out a way to make a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, because he is just perfect, and Green Goblin for Spider-Man villains is him. Like, I hope that we get to see, if it's not going to be Willem Dafoe's version, more of him in the next Spider-Man movies, with Tom Holland, just because I love him. I love this character. All right, bringing into the top 3, and something I noticed a trend about my top 3 as I was looking at the list right before I hit record here. But anyways, number 3, we're going to go with Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron. I love the design of this character. I think it's as good as it could have looked coming out of the comics, for the already established aesthetic for the MCU. Like, he could be a bit more smooth, I guess, if you wanted to make him look more like the comics, but I feel like a lot of times that they've tried to do that in live action, it's come across very strange. But James Spader's performance here, and it is just his voice. He did do some of the CGI work, but the main thing you're getting is his voice is perfect. It can be menacing, it can be funny, it can be charming, it can be playful, but the thing that really pushes him up for me is his connection to the Avengers, primarily Bruce Banner, but mostly Tony. And in his mind, he is fulfilling Tony's program of peace in our time, and so he thinks the best way to do that is to bring down the Avengers. And so the fact that Tony created him and now the Avengers now all have to deal with him, that's obviously extremely compelling, because this is where you start to see rifts come between the Avengers, eventually setting up the inevitable split in Civil War between Tony and Steve, and basically allowing Thanos to come in because the Avengers are split up and unable to stop him. But it all goes back to this movie and the decisions that Tony makes, and obviously the personality similarities to Tony are fun to see, and the introduction of kind of the henchmen that he gets is also fun, and how he interacts with them and how they eventually turn on him. But this villain is fantastic. Like, the movie is a little bit of a letdown. I think it is overhated on, but Ultron definitely is a top tier MCU villain. Like, if this was a tier list, he would be in the S. Number 2, I'm going to go with Loki, the villain from Thor and the Avengers, and then basically everything else that we've seen him since then, he's either been an anti-hero or directly a hero. Tom Hiddleston is just the man and embodies this character so perfectly. He is charming, conniving, sneaky. He has a straightforward desire, but is a very complex character in the schemes and plans that he tries to get there, how his motivations change, how he interacts from one character to the next. It's just so fun to watch. And he is our original Avengers villain. Like, obviously the Chitauri are the main ones that the Avengers are fighting. It's not like it's all of them versus just Loki. He's not that guy. He's not the ultimate strength guy. He is the charismatic leader who seems to be able to just endlessly find resources to fit his cause. He is able to turn some of our heroes to his side, and you can just tell that he does not care who he has to hurt, what he has to do to achieve his end goals of power. And a lot of it really comes back to Tom Hiddleston just nailing this performance, and we have so much screen time with him and love for the character. But even before we had all that screen time, because we really just had him in Thor and then right into Avengers, it just works so well. And the fact that he does have a kind of cutting sense of humor allows him to have a lot of fun banter with Thor, with the other Avengers as well. And you see kind of this is where the first connections to Thanos really start to come in. But Loki just nails it. And I'm glad that they figured out a way to keep his character in and grow him and not just feel like his character ever lacks stakes. Like, the growth has been beautiful, but as a villain for Thor and the Avengers, he did such a great job. But number 1 is very obvious to me, and it's not close. I do love Loki, Ultron, Killmonger, all of them, but it's not even close. Number 1 is going to be Thanos. He has the most anticipation of any movie villain of all time, probably, and he met the anticipation, he met all the hype and more. His plan of wanting to save the universe by taking out half the universe, thus basically doubling the resources, again, it's a plan you understand, but very clearly has to be stopped. He is easily the biggest threat the Avengers have faced up until, this multiversal stuff and the incursions start to happen. But this isn't just an Avengers level threat. It's not a worldwide level threat, galaxy-wide level threat. This is a universe level threat. His plan is to literally get rid of half the universe in a snap. And before he does that, he is literally just going from civilization to civilization and tearing half of their world down. He does it to the Asgardians. He does it to the Nova Corps. He does it everywhere he goes, and nobody can stop him. And then he gets this split Avengers and is ultimately able to win. Like, yes, he does lose in the end, but Infinity War, he wins. He fulfills his ultimate goal, and he's done. He does not continue fighting. He doesn't go on to try to do some next goal. He goes to a place that he makes his home so he can farm and live in peace, because he's the ultimate character that embodies that. He does not view his actions as evil. He views them as justified and as the ultimate hero, and I think he is the best example of that. And he looks great in the movie. Josh Brolin does such a good job acting, even with him being an entirely CGI character, with the facial expressions and like the look in his eyes. It all just works. He is a perfect villain, and I don't know if they're ever going to be able to top him. I love Robert Downey Jr. I do think he can do a good job as Doom, and I do love Dr. Doom, but I don't think they've given him proper setup. That I don't know if we're ever going to get a villain in a comic book movie that will ever be better than Thanos. He is that good. So that's my top 10 list here. We'll go through a quick rerun. Number 10, The High Evolutionary. Number 9, Hela. Number 8, The Vulture. Number 7, The Mandarin or Wen Wu. Number 6, Scarlet Witch. Number 4, Killmonger. Or number 5, Killmonger. Number 4, Green Goblin. Number 3, Ultron. Number 2, Loki. And coming in easily at number 1, Thanos. Let me know down below, do you guys agree? Do you disagree with the list? Who are your top 10 favorite villains? If you don't want to do that much, top 3, top 5, who is just your favorite and why? Are any of the villains I listed here actually trash and I haven't realized it? Comment below. Let me know. I love interacting with the few people who've been commenting so far. I've seen some mind-blowing ways that people have already ranked some of the movies, and I just absolutely love seeing it. So thank you guys for liking and commenting, the few of you that have, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.